Oh, there it is. Okay. Whew. Close call. I hate technical difficulties. I'm just so bad with technology. But we out here trying. Um, so went to the Salt Lake City protest yesterday, the No Kings one. Super big, super peaceful. We took over the streets. Yeah, it was massive. It was really cool. There ended up being a shooter pretty close to where we were. We were like luckily just ahead of when it was happening. And it scattered the crowd. It made everyone run. Basically disrupted the whole protest. But it also sent people scattering throughout the city back to Pioneer Park. And so I think there was a good level of chaos for the message we were trying to send without the protesters themselves doing rioting or anything else. Anyway, it sparked my interest in checking out more into LA, what's going on there. I started checking out this video, and I just decided I'm going to stream and react to it, maybe talk about Salt Lake a little bit, or just protests in general and what's happening in LA. Later on, I'm doing the first ever in person discussion with a friend of mine named Josh. We're doing it at the studio that we've been preparing for all this. We're not going to do those live. We're going to just upload those later onto the YouTube. However, I am going to start streaming it live on Discord. So if you do want to be part of the live discussion, I'll have a virtual stream going of the discussion just like I'm doing right now on the stage of the Discord. So yeah, if it sounds interesting and you'd rather see it happening live and be there to participate, then join the Discord and you can absolutely do that. Other than that, I don't have a ton of time, so
People
let's just
in front of me
get going.
destroying Waymos, niggas behind me destroying Waymos. There's thousands of people out here disgusted with the Trump administration and how the federal government is handling migration. People are out here with hammers, baseball bats, whatever weapon they can find. It's dark.
Pura la raza latina.
Are you mad?
No explique Spanish, English.
We're learning that President Trump is ordering another 2,000 National Guard troops to
I
deploy
actually
to
might
LA.
not be able to focus on the game. I kind of want to just give my attention to this. So I might just do that.
Along with those 700 Marines who already received orders.
At the end of the motherfucking day, we're the motherfucking people, not fucking them. They're here to protect their interests, not us. They're locking up innocent fucking immigrants that come here to make a life for their families. I'm a first.
So they started out with showing the violent aspects of it, the more rioting aspects, the burning of the cars and all this stuff. I do feel like this report is pretty fairly covered, though. They, from what I saw so far, and I am definitely generally pro peaceful protest as much as possible. At least that's what I advocate for. That's what I try to do. I don't try to justify the rioting and burning down of property and all this stuff, especially just in your own communities. It just seems to be detrimental to like unifying a people's movement and a cause. But at the same time, like they just said, these people's communities are actively being invaded. Their family members, their loved ones being stripped from them right in front of their eyes. Legal or not, it's just a fucked up experience to go through for anybody. So again, this isn't me justifying it. It's me understanding why this would happen, why these guys would be pissed off, and why they would be retaliating violently to something violent happening to them. They're just like, it's like they're protecting their ground at this point. They're protecting their communities and their loved ones from being stripped away from the government. It's just, you have to at least be able to empathize with the position and why they would be reacting this way.
First generation American. But like I've always said, I am Mexican first, American second, and they don't protect my interests or my family's. So that's what the fuck is going on here.
And honestly, dog, this is all bullshit because my mom, she comes from Mexico and I'm over here representing her right now because ICE, they will take her and they will come right now. I'm 15, dog, so fuck ICE.
I used to be an undocumented citizen. It took me 27 years because I had to prove who I was. So when people tell me that the process is easy and they should just come in and do it the legal way, it doesn't matter. No matter how hard you try, they're gonna make it impossible for people.
They start with the immigrants. They start with the most vulnerable communities. And then once they're done perfecting their system, they go after everybody else.
They know the entire country is against this shit, and they know we're not gonna go down without a fight.
I'm proud to be Mexican. I'm proud of my roots. So fucking proud. And this is for the raza.
Fuck ICE. Fucking served 4 years in the fucking Marines for this bullshit. I'll fuck you up, Trump, myself.
If you are born on this
Anger from a veteran, especially, right? So many veterans are outraged about this. The people who conservatives, at least they used to pretend to adore and honor the most, right? They're coming out and saying that this is not the freedom, this is not the America they fought for and stood for.
this soil, it does not matter where you come from, if you have citizenship or not, you are guaranteed due process in this fucking country.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has set a goal of arresting 3,000 illegal migrants a day.
Fuck you, Trump. You're making the wrong moves, my boy. You're fucking with the wrong people, man. And you know what you're doing? You're getting everybody behind Mexicans, pendejo, Latinos, Hispanics.
Why the fuck are you trying to lock the Mexican people up and they got the best food? Tell me that. Tacos and tequila.
That's it,
and
though, right
enchiladas
there.
and burritos, fucking corn on the cob. What did they call it? What they call it?
Elote.
The street corn.
Elotes, nigga. Come on. You gonna lock a nigga up that know how to make elotes?
That's the real truth right there.
Try, baby. What's so different about me and this guy? Nothing. We bleed the same. We bleed the same, my boy. Just like you, Trump. We're people, homeboy.
Yeah, like
we
that's
work hard. We
no, like in all honesty, it's, you know, maybe it's not a great argument per se, but it does blow my mind that we talk about immigration as disrupting the culture. Not we, right-wing propagandists talk about immigration as disrupting our culture and our way of life. The you know, all these things, they don't have American values. But the thing is, the American value, what we're proud of, is the capability of melting cultures together in a melting pot. This is why we love Mexican food, right? We do love tacos. Like, at least a lot of us do. We love what these people bring to our culture. Diversity is amazing. That's why the US has the best food from all over the world, because you have actual people here bringing their culture and their food to share with us, their music, their dance. It's a beautiful thing when a melting pot can work together and have a society of all these different interests and values. So yeah, the people who are anti-melting pot are the ones who are anti-American values, not the people immigrating here.
fucking work for our family. We're family people. You don't know anything about that. You have no values but money in your mind. That's all you have.
True.
Viva la raza! Viva la raza! And everybody that's behind us.
Yesterday, raids took place in downtown Los Angeles, at least 3 different locations, one of them another Home Depot.
Estas redadas han dejado enmarcadas a las personas con temor a venir a buscar trabajo.
Aquí pienso que estamos haciendo algo, cosas malas. Solamente buscamos trabajo, ayudar a la gente de LA que no puede hacer los trabajos rudos que ninguno de aquí les gusta hacer, construcción, jardinería, roofing, todo eso.
And people who hate on like them not being able to speak English, we're like one of the only countries that can't speak multiple languages, right? Like Canada, tons of people know how to speak French and whatnot and other languages. In Europe, like everybody knows 3 to 4 languages. Like that's just part of growing up because you live in diversity. You live around different cultures and different ways of life. So I don't know why we would hold so firm to that rather than just be like, hey, you know, it actually is good for the brain for children to learn a new language. Like, not only is it beneficial work-wise, education-wise, it actually is a good workout for the brain, just like reading is. Like, let's make our kids smart. Let's like make them multilingual. Why not? It's just insane to me that we're like, this must be English-speaking America only. Like, the hell is that?
O levantar cosas o limpiar cosas que es muy sucio o es peligroso para el humano. Aquí estamos para ayudarles a ustedes.
Acordémonos que Nada aquí es gratis, tenemos que pagar renta, tenemos que pagar teléfono, biles, mandar dinerito a nuestra gente allá, a nuestros países. No
Just
somos
realized I'm
criminales,
covering
sino
the-
gente que se viene a ganar el pan cada día, ¿verdad?
If we want to look at the cause of what is happening here, I take it back to raids that took place on Friday.
And that's where tensions escalated. Protesters confronted federal agents in the streets with tear gas being used to try to control the angry crowd.
Day 2, we're right here in front of City Hall.
Yeah, let's remember this started with people just showing up to try and body block and protect their loved ones from getting taken away, right? They were just showing up to try and interfere with the arrests of their loved ones. And escalations happen, right? The police start clashing with the protesters get more pissed off and start burning cars. Again, this is not me being pro-violence, it's me understanding how the causal chain of violence happened. And that it might not even be so cut and dry that it was the protesters that started the violence, right? So and these things are chaotic, right? And this is why I jumped on here, because I've been to some Salt Lake protests before. This one was the biggest I have ever seen. It was a huge turnout, which it was amazing to see Utah doing that. And the moment there was people yelling gunshots, like there's a shooter, active shooter, everything was so chaotic, and it's so difficult to even know who's like what happened, where things are coming from. Luckily, like our cops here in Salt Lake are probably some of the best that exists in the country. At least from my experience, what I've seen. And like, I'm not as ACAB as a lot of my friends are, though I do understand that all police are defending with violence a system that is oppressive. So I do understand that logic. But as we've seen in some of these other I can't remember where it was, but there's somewhere in the country that cops were kneeling to the protesters and joining. So if we're building a working class movement of people, I do think sometimes we have to remember that these guys are working class people that exist in this system. A lot of them are power hungry and evil, right? But there are some that actually do care about the people's ability to march through the streets. They were there protecting us, like that. They were just there blocking off streets, you know, making sure things were secure. As soon as there was a shooter, they reacted and apprehended him, right? And I understand too from a racial perspective. I'm very privileged as a white man, and I understand that in Black Lives Matters protests and whatnot, this isn't the case, right? Police are not this way. So I do understand the privilege of Utah even. I think that it's something with our police. They seem to just value our ability to march through the streets and disrupt traffic and everything else.
People have come to support their undocumented neighbors. The community has really came and showed out. Trump has sent 2,000 National Guard members here to disperse the crowd to try to quell this revolt. The state seems to not be down for that. Karen Bass has spoken out against the presence of the National Guard here. So we have this weird clash of like state and federal governments going down right here in LA.
There was nothing going on here that warranted the federal intervention that took place the very next day.
Trump has also made an executive order that anyone with a mask will be arrested on site, which is funny because everybody in ICE wears a mask. I don't get how that's gonna work. I'll just take my mask off, damn it. You know what I mean? If they really tripping that hard, yeah. But fuck it. We out
This
here to
reporter's
support
so
La Raza.
fucking
It's not really
hilarious,
just like a
dude. Who
Mexican
is
issue,
this
but
guy?
definitely is a Mexican
I feel like I
problem
have
over
to
here
follow
'cause
this
it's
channel
places
right
like Home
now.
Depot and the fashion district that's being targeted, which is like well-known.
Arrest
spots
the
for,
people
like,
in mass
Paisa
now.
homies.
Then they come out every day to work and hustle, and then they depend on that. They don't depend on the actual income of 401k or you know, life insurance that they're able to, you know, they don't have anything like that. They don't know anything about that. So
migrant workers and our prosperity as a country are like this.
42%
So
of
that's
crop
true.
laborers
yeah.
are undocumented.
You feel like there's a
And this is very true. At the same time, I saw a sign at the protests yesterday from a Latino person that was like, I am more than my labor. And I understand that people that make these arguments are just trying to talk to people who don't understand immigration and who are more hateful. But I think we do need to remember that that's not all they are. And they do bring more, like they bring culture, they do bring family values, right? They are a very family-oriented community. They bring a lot of good values. It's not just their economic value that they bring. They are a lot more than their labor.
The reason why LA is being targeted so hard?
It's one of the largest Hispanic and Latino communities, and also involving a lot of immigrants too. A lot of illegal immigrants out here. I'm a DACA recipient, so I can tell firsthand that this is personal. They are attacking our homes, they're attacking our people, and they're attacking the main backbone of this economy, of this country. This country is built off of immigrants. It's built off of a hard labor that we do, so yeah, I mean, it's fucked up.
Sí, así es, amigo.
We need migrant reform. We don't need deportations. These folks are our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Really what they need to do is we need immigration reform. We should all stand together for immigration reform so people can be here legally, people that we need to work.
As a side note, when people talk about immigration reform, they're normally talking about the broken asylum-seeking process. So it used to be that immigrants fleeing persecution, political crisis, or poverty would seek asylum upon their entry to the U.S. and typically hear a verdict from the immigration courts in a matter of weeks or months, after which they can get their work papers and begin legal employment. However, because of the overflow of undocumented migrants that have happened over the past couple of years, the current wait time for an asylum hearing is between 5 and 7 years, leaving millions of migrants stuck in the states, unable to procure lawful employment, often leading them to places like Home Depot parking lots or just on the streets. Immigration reform would mean spending less money on ICE and more money hiring immigration judges to create a fair and expedited process for hearing asylum claims and issuing work papers. The Trump administration, and by the way, the Biden administration too, have refused to take significant action to hire more judges and fix the problem, which if done correctly would
And
be a
by the
win-win
way,
for
the Biden administration, right? And this is the difference between the two sides, as it were, right, of our political landscape. Most people I know that even voted Democrat because they saw a threat in Trump, they don't typically like their politicians that much, right? A lot of people still protest against Biden and the Democrats, and again, there was sort of a desperate act of like, this is the only person that could potentially beat Trump. But most people at this point aren't very pro-Democrat either. They don't appreciate the system as a whole, the Democrats or the Republicans or Trump. I think that what happened was Trump and this right-wing machine picked up on a sentiment, actually like a left-wing conspiratorial sentiment way back in the day, of how this system is rigged and the two-party system is just basically a reality TV show keeping us all separate and whatnot. And I think this became a big part of Trump's movement, and they sort of apprehended this messaging and propped Trump up as the savior of all your grievances, right? He's gonna come end corruption. Oh, all the savior Trump. And that's how a lot of his followers treat him too, right? This isn't me just spewing bullshit. I literally heard a story from my community the other day that they know somebody, their cousin, who is such a MAGA fiend. He literally had a Trump MAGA-themed birthday party. Like, no politician should be held in that high of light. Anyway, that's such a side tangent, but I just, like, this is true. The Democrats have not been representing a large chunk of the people that have been outraged, that have been upset, that have been hurt by the system. So it is bigger than Trump, but Trump has just taken the ship at an essential time. We'll see what happens.
For both sides. It'd be a win for conservatives who are concerned about migrants with violent criminal backgrounds entering the country and taking advantage of people and resources. And it'd be a win for progressives who want migrants with valid asylum claims to have fruitful legal lives in the U.S. and eventually become citizens. However, none of this has happened, just widespread deportation orders by Trump.
He's not serious. He signs these papers all day long. He could sign one that required E-Verify, and he hasn't. Why? Because what would happen is all those companies like Walmart, etc., who rely on immigrant workers or workers without papers would then complain, and they would lobby against it.
When there's no food on the table, when there's no houses, people will learn.
Trump's administration, ICE, is doing is illegal and unconstitutional. They're doing exactly what the Gestapo did back in the Nazi regime, which is arrest people, with no warrants, take them to court and prosecute them with no fair trial, deport them and send them to foreign prisons, and then there's no oversight regulations for them to do whatever they're doing.
I'm a white guy with some money. I have a housekeeper scared to death. I have a caretaker of my elderly father scared of being fired because some asshole might call him, disagree with him, and send him back to some prison camp in some country that's not his.
And the only difference between ICE and the Gestapo is that the Gestapo had the balls to show their faces when they were doing this type of shit. ICE is just being cowards and hiding behind those masks and their weapons and terrorizing a whole community.
What's happening right now is that Donald Trump sent the National Guard to dissemble and humiliate and arrest and harm lawful citizens exercising their right to speech and assembly.
And this move was illegal by the Trump administration, which is why Governor Newsom has opened a lawsuit for it. Because constitutionally speaking, the governor has to request and consent to the executive branch taking over National Guard in their state. You can't just do it without the consent of the state. I really do think that all the people who were talking about state rights when it came to abortion and gay marriage and all this stuff, they're going to always say it's a state rights issue. Yet federally overreaching the military of a state, that's absolutely unconstitutional. And we should know why that is unconstitutional, right? As people who care about state rights, they should be able to understand why we wouldn't want an executive power to be able to take over a state's National Guard without the consent of the governor. So if we just use our brains a little bit, we could see who the real criminal is here in our country, right?
There's no world in which some spray paint or a broken window is more important than human rights.
What's going on is the fact that we got fascist fucking pig not letting us do our lawful assembly.
So my name is Jesse Blancarte. I'm an immigration attorney based in Los Angeles. Those raids are taking place at job sites. You know, day laborers at Home Depot, people who help, create clothes at these factories or these businesses. Those aren't people who were on the street, as gang members wreaking havoc in communities. They're family members. They're the people who support their kids.
And this is why when I see violence happening from the left, from these protests, these rioters, I will neither be criticizing them nor justifying them, right? I don't think that's what we should focus on. I think we should try to disrupt the system peacefully as possible, activate the system, get engaged in it politically, whether that's unions or local level offices, whatever it might be. But I won't be justifying or criticizing the violence, because to me, it just is a reality that's manifesting because of the conditions, right? I don't promote it, but it is going to happen if people are getting snatched up out of their communities, right? I guess it's not out of nowhere, but there's no real warning if you're just going to work and you don't know ICE is just going to show up one day to take you, right? It's causing a lot of fear and anxiety in these areas. And of course, they're going to get angry and react violently to their families being scooped up away from them.
They're the people who probably their kids are waiting for to pick them up at the end of the school day. And so in this coordinated raid, people are being pulled out of the community, taken to the federal building in downtown LA, and not coming out. And on the same day, people were going into their ICE check-ins, their appointments with their ICE officers, and not coming out. And so it just follows a pattern of this increased enforcement that doesn't target just people who have criminal histories. It doesn't target people who are deemed to make our communities unsafe. It targets people who are doing the essential job that many Americans won't do. It's targeting people who are core members of their family, of their communities, who really just want to be here and make a better life for themselves and their family.
All right, so everybody from City Hall has now started a march to the federal building. The cops earlier tried to block the road so that people couldn't march along this route, but they fucked up. They didn't do it, and people are now mobile. That's like damn near at least my whole
This reporter is my favorite.
So about
he is so funny.
Like 1,000 people
and just
here.
Like fearless. Like he'll just be making jokes
the cops
up in here.
shooting. The shooting guns. We're all being
This
pushed back,
guy,
man.
this guy is my hero. He's so funny. They're just getting shot at with these pellets and stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, yeah, we'll get shot at. All right." Like he's just so ready to go. He doesn't give a fuck.
It's like I feel like a dog that they're telling me to get. The cops are fucking rapid firing. They're non-lethals. I feel like the non-lethals are also like packed with some type of irritant. It's not necessarily a tear gas.
This
canister,
guy
but
is
it
my hero.
Fucks you up. I feel like it's on the couch. Oh, goddamn.
So dedicated to the truth right now.
So this is what I'm talking about. It's like the rubber thing.
Like
and
he
these
just gets
fall
hit with
after,
it.
and it shoots off some sparks, which I feel like it's coming a lot more often now. They're also banging niggas with
See, this is
sticks.
what I'm saying
This is-
about we really don't know who started the violence, right? These guys were just walking through the streets somewhere. Obviously, that's the illegal thing that protests do, is it blocks traffic, it disrupts the system. But the cops are clearly starting this huge escalation in violence. So, I don't know. Can we blame people?
The peaceful protest, we haven't done shit. It's only 3 p.m.
How can we blame people for reacting later this night to this bullshit?
That's the fastest I've ever seen them start shooting people with rubber bullets. Not even 5 minutes. What the fuck was that?
A shot with a rubber bullet. That shit hurts. He's helping out right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How close were you to the gun?
They were like 2 feet away.
What do you think? What's the difference between ICE and the LAPD?
LAPD belongs to us. They work for us. They're our police. They're not supposed to work with ICE.
LAPD eats corn the long way. I've been saying it since the beginning of today. Look at them. You can tell.
So now they're advancing. They're trying to split us, but they go shoot this old lady. Oh, damn. Okay, yeah, they might. Yeah, they might shoot the old lady. Oh, that nigga trigger happy, man. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Oh, I knew it.
Wait, so this is ICE.
Watch your leg.
Oh, no.
I have a medical.
See, this is like what I was saying earlier. Like the community police. I mean, I'm not going to speak about LAPD or anything, but you know, if at our protest in Salt Lake the other day, it was like ICE, like federal agents, and not our police, they might have been a lot more aggressive to us. It does seem like the community police in our area are there to just make sure nothing bad happens. And I think that they actually do care about their community more than some federal ICE agent would, at least. You know, I'm not like defending cops or anything. It's just we should recognize the different levels of authorities and everything else. Having a community force that helps protect your community is a lot better than federal agents or the National Guard and the military showing up to a protest.
And come with me. They know the entire country is against this shit, and they know we're not gonna go down without a fight. I understand that by
And
showing
yeah,
my
you know what? I'm not gonna feel bad about defending our cops, okay? Because again, at the shooter the other day that happened, our cops were on it. They apprehended him, and like it was over so soon. They reacted so fast. They had their community of people's interest at heart. They genuinely did. So I'm not gonna feel bad about defending people that defended us. And to be quite frank, if someone was like being violent to my house, showed up at my house with a gun, were trying to break in and stuff, I'm gonna call my police. That's what they're like. I'm not gonna just pridefully have a shoot off on my own, like because I hate the cops. Like I really understand the ACAB argument of how it defends the system itself. So ideologically speaking, structurally speaking, yes, it's all bad. But the people there are many different people there who care about their communities and they just want to protect them.
face and speaking, I'm putting myself in peril. but I will do it because those people in there only came here to find work and find a better chance of life from other countries in the world. And nobody is illegal on stolen land. And this is stolen land. This land belongs to the Gabrieleño tribe of Indians. And if anybody told you differently, they're wrong. These people pretend not to know history. That's why they want to erase it. They don't understand that this is our land. We did not cross a border. The border crossed us. And we're not going to leave. And we're going to fight alongside all of our brothers and sisters of all colors because LA is united and we are a fucking melting pot.
And this is where the left loses the liberals, because the liberals can never criticize the colonizing, the imperialism, the capitalist oppression, the slavery that this country has ensued across the whole fucking globe. Okay? So people who are just pro-capitalist and all this shit, but anti-Trump, they can never criticize the bad things America has done, with the Democrats included. Like, I mean, everyone talks about Obama and all the drone strikes he did, the illegal drone strikes. He was supposed to shut down Guantanamo Bay and all the torturing there, but never did. So, yeah, none of these people are on our side. At least anymore. I don't know. Yo, someone's in the cord? Let's go. Cringe. Oh, you can't? Dang, you have to go to the stream? Hopefully you can hear it on the stream.
We're a community that will stand together against injustice every time.
You should let me know if you can hear it on the stream, dude. Because that would suck if I've just been doing it this whole time. Actually, I could check. You should let me know if you can hear it on the stream, dude. Earlier, like the community. So. Okay, well, at least it's working on YouTube. It's just not in the Discord. So that's something I got to figure out. As we've learned, I'm not very good with technology. I kind of hate it, in fact. I just want to be able to do my shit without worrying about it.
Right here, made onto the
But yeah, if you do like want to watch, it's on the
here
YouTube
to
streaming, and you
get
can
the
hear the
message
video
across
there.
Of solidarity. These people that are targeted are criminals. These are people that are like hard at work. You know what I mean? Ripped out of their jobs, single income homes. Right here, we're just reminding people that we run the streets and the freeways.
Yo, Channel 5 News, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on?
I don't know, you tell me.
I'll toss up the subtitles for you. How about that?
I guess so.
Oh,
I
it's
go to the
backwards.
gym.
Oh yeah, what are you working on in the
Nice.
gym?
The quads, bro, the cheeks.
I've been fucking running a lot lately.
He just said the quads, bro, the
And,
cheeks.
I feel good about it. So it's not only the freeways, as you can see, they're lined up. The whole fucking shit lined up. You got anything to say, bro?
Fuck guys, let all our immigrants free. It's a free country.
Everyone in Los Angeles should be here right now.
Absolutely, Los Angeles doesn't take this kind of shit, man.
I used to be an undocumented citizen for the longest, 27 years of my life. So I understand the hardship that it comes to being an immigrant. So I feel more responsible now that I'm an American citizen to fight for those people that don't have any rights right now. I fear for my siblings, deportation, they're still in the process. And since they're trying to take away that due process, I fear more for my life for them, that they're gonna be taken away to a land that they haven't even been since they were 1 year old. It took me a long time, even from an
Yeah, and that point right there, I don't understand. Just from an empathetic standpoint of other human beings, like even if there is a child that was undocumented, say like 1 year old when their family brought them across the border, so they don't have the native-born citizenship, but they came when they were 1, and so now they're older, they're like 16, 17, whatever they are. All they've known is America and American culture and schools and everything else. And now we're going to send this young person back to a country they've literally never known before. Never. So no connections, nothing. I'm sure there's family there somewhere, but it's just, it blows my mind that people can't empathize with that situation better.
American mother that I had, it took me 27 years because I had to prove who I was. So when people tell me that the process is easy and they should just come in and do it the legal way, it doesn't matter. No matter how hard you try, they're gonna make it impossible for people.
You'll hear people say, my family did it the right way. My experience is sometimes when you dig a little deeper and you ask questions about what that means, you'll actually find that it wasn't actually the right way. The family members actually came here unlawfully without permission, and some benefit became available to them afterwards that allowed them to get residency. If you had a sibling, let's just say a brother, who's from Mexico, and you wanted to bring him over here because you're a United States citizen, you could try to file an I-130 family petition for him, engage that process lawfully, and it's probably going to be over 2 decades before your brother is now able to legally come here to the United States. How does it make sense to wait another 15 years after waiting 5 years if you're in imminent harm? Do you keep waiting those 15 additional years, or do you maybe take action into your own hands and find refuge by coming here around the legal process you try to engage with?
Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, they moving now. Okay, now we got LAPD, ICE, CHP, DHS, FBI, everybody's out here except for the National Guard. There's flashbangs going up above. We're still getting rubber bullets.
It should be noted that some migrant workers, like the
is
ones
my
that
favorite.
Saddam spoke
He's
with at
just
the
so
Home
funny.
Depot, are not in support in some of the more outlandish direct action tactics that have been on display at the protest, particularly those involving arson and vandalism.
Yo estoy de acuerdo que la gente haga sus manifestaciones, proteste, pero en una forma no violenta, no lucrativa para otras personas, porque no somos todos. Entonces ahí nos marcan a todos. Tenemos que hacer las protestas, pero hacerlas con el debido respeto, tanto para los policías como para la gente, ¿verdad? Porque si ustedes se dan cuenta, se están violando muchos de los derechos de las personas. Entonces, pienso que no es lo correcto.
This anti-rioting sentiment is also shared by many business owners in downtown LA who experienced the George Floyd riots in 2020, which negatively impacted commerce for quite some time.
The message gets diluted because you've got people like me. We don't want to see our properties destroyed.
This is the thing. This is these people's communities. So the people that support them and they're burning down like buildings or breaking in and looting or whatever else. And this rhetoric, this messaging can only be negative to a movement. There's no like positive image of this messaging that could ever be given to the people in America. And like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think even if it's not intentional from Trump, the consequence of ICE goading people into riots is simply better right-wing propaganda about how these people are extremists, how they're radical, they're not from our country, they just want to burn it down. Any level of that gets caught on camera just gets like heightened times 10 to just negatively put a light on us as people trying to protest against something. And again, I know that like people are reacting to their families being swiped out from under them. So obviously I understand why they get angry and violent sometimes. But I wouldn't put it past Trump and ICE to try and goad people into violence so that the more and more violent we react to their violent presence, the easier it will be for Trump to say martial law. Like we need to do a federal martial law, lock down all of our country, or all of our states and everything. So it's just way better to disrupt peacefully, just disrupt the traffic, boycott things like Target. The CEO of Target took a huge hit because of a lot of us boycotting and not shopping there for weeks at a time. And still, we should just do this more. Take money away from their precious system. And I don't know. Like, again, I'm not criticizing the violence in the sense that I understand why it happens. Like, I get why people are mad. But I'm also not going to justify it, and it's just not even good for us as a movement.
Buildings boarded up because glass got broken 5 years ago on it. So here we are 5 years later, we're protesting about something that's meaningful, but busting somebody's property isn't going to help spread that message. Think in terms of somebody like me who's put 100 gallons of paint on this building in 5 years. The message is by body of people, by mass. And how do you influence mass? You keep at it. You know, pass out pamphlets is more effective. Hold signs.
Está bien lo que están haciendo en huelgas, pero no se trata de destruir cosas, porque en lugar de ayudarnos, va a ser todo peor porque ahora ya mandaron la guardia, siguen haciendo cosas más malas y va a ser peor. Ya entre poco ya no se va a poder ni caminar por lo mismo. Entonces hay que protestar, pero en la forma que la ley nos dice que la hagamos, sin destruir ni golpear a los policías, porque quiera o no, ellos están haciendo su trabajo. Porque ellos hacen lo que el gobierno dice que hagan, no lo están haciendo por hacerlo nomás.
There's also a sentiment shared by some that angry rioting is actually serving the agenda of the conservative establishment, who are looking for negative optics to feed their affiliate media channels, who will now broadcast clips of things like looting and burning cars
There's Ben
anytime
Shapiro.
border policy or ICE operations are mentioned.
Charlie Kirk.
To
He's gonna love
the
this
progressive
one.
side of the aisle.
The reason the guards are here is he knows he's going to incite violence and lighting fires and looting and everything else, and he can now say that's why. That's just exacerbating everything, and it's putting on a show for the news.
This gentleman's predictions serve to be true from an optics standpoint. Here is an official edit posted by the White House on Facebook, X, and Instagram less than 24 hours after this protest was filmed.
It was a peaceful rally. What is going on right now is also peaceful.
The noises they're adding, oh my god.
Here we are expecting rallies later on.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
In Los Angeles, there is a new crowd of protesters that has been building.
CNN had it that these were rallies. Now they've become protests.
So I think this
I'm
was
afraid
2
by tonight
cars
they become
total
riots. If we don't have the ability to
for
stand
the
up
whole
and stop this
protest
violence before it consumes a great city
and
like
a
Los
flag
Angeles,
being burned.
then there's no telling where this could spread.
And they made it look as if it was the entire thing.
What they're showing is the worst part of it, feeding into the clown at the top. They're not showing peaceful masses of people with signs,
Right.
that are coming out to protest. They're showing people that are coming out and destroying shit. And so, it's feeding into it.
Still, many LA natives, particularly those belonging to multi-generational Chicano families, feel as though without making a show of force through direct action, ICE will continue with their aggressive operations in the city, thereby breaking families apart. 8% of LA residents are currently undocumented, and in Latino-majority neighborhoods in the south central and eastern part of the city, that number is estimated to be
Right?
closer to a third.
It is
We're not gonna
crazy,
stop.
man.
Hell no, we don't stop, man.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna
We
stop.
can't
this,
stop.
until this
We
city
gotta
burns
keep
down.
coming more. We
That's how
can't
LA
let
reacts,
shooters,
you know? That's how
like,
we react to
scare
things.
us away
They're trying
from
to split
this.
up families, you know what I'm saying? And it's not cool. You fuck with a family member, you're gonna get everybody, you know what I'm saying?
How long do you think it's gonna last?
Shit, until they change their minds on what the fuck they doing. You got kids that are born here and they're like 5, 6 years old, and their mom and dad are being taken away from them. That's fucked up. Let somebody try to take my kid, you know?
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
You're not gonna win, believe it. It's a matter of time. If you keep fucking with us, the world's gonna know it. The world's gonna know it. Not only you, the world's gonna fucking know it. That we're tired of fucking bullshit. All the Viva la raza! Everybody that is supporting the Mexicanos and the Latinos and the Browns, fucking love for you, much love.
We're all
Let's
people.
go, buddy.
We will
Love for you
always
back.
be people. Their lack of acceptance of our humanity and of everyone's humanity is an insult to what we are, which is divine beings meant to be here together and to share everything.
What's up, divine beings? Let's take a quick break from the streets of LA to see how the media machine has been covering the unfolding situation in those streets. As we know, different outlets push
This
different
channel has
agendas,
seemed super
shaping the
fair.
story
I
to
just
fit
like
their
kind of stumbled upon this channel, and it seems very fair. Like the opening of it showed the violence right off the bat, the violence of the rioters and the protesters. So wasn't trying to hide that, wasn't trying to hide the violent aspect of it. But then it went into how big the peaceful movement was through the streets and how the cops were reacting violently to those peaceful protesters. And it just seems like it's been giving a really fair scope of what's been happening.
Own narratives, which is why independent reporting matters, and we here at Channel 5 are 100% committed to bringing y'all raw, unfiltered coverage straight from the streets. But before we hit the streets, we get informed using Ground News. Ground News is a dope-ass news aggregate that lets you see exactly how different media outlets, left, right, and center, are covering the same story as it unfolds. Here, as you can see, using the Ground News bias distribution tool, the left and right are covering Trump's new deployment of 700 Marines to LA in a very different way. On the left, the radical Daily Beast headline reads, "Trump orders in the Marines in a dramatic escalation of LA protests." Then on the right, Breitbart says Trump sends in the Marines to support California's National Guard as anti-ICE foreign flag-waving riots continue. Wow. One more thing I love about ground news is how it helps you figure out what's
Foreign
genuinely
flag
newsworthy
waving.
by showing you how many sources numerically are covering a given story. That kind of transparency lets you judge the credibility of an article before accidentally repeating it into conversation and realizing before it's too late that you've been fed a one-sided narrative. Another feature I love to use at ground news is called the blind spot tool, which shows you the stories that might not be appearing in your typical media bubble, which is why we trust ground news to help us cut straight through the noise.
I
Right
agree,
now, you
Cringe.
can subscribe for 40% off the unlimited access van.
I've actually heard a lot about ground news, the thing that they're promoting right now.
Here, or click the link in the description of the pinned comment on this
Maybe I
video
should
to
let
sign
them
up for
finish
Ground
their
News
promo.
right now. As I mentioned, supporting ground news helps to support us, which means we can keep making videos
I
like
might
this,
sign up
giving
for
you guys
this
coverage that isn't
because
watered
I've
down or
heard from
dictated by corporate
multiple
interests. So check it out,
streamers
stay
that I
informed,
trust,
and don't let the media
trust-ish,
tell
you know,
what to think.
that this is
All right,
one of the
back
best
to the
news
streets of
apps
LA.
you can
So
have.
right here on the other side of the freeway, about 4 or 5 Wamos just got fucked up. This one behind me is currently on fire. The dark cloud over the protest today. People are out here with hammers, baseball bats, whatever weapon they can find. It's kind of like one of the therapy rooms where you fuck shit up. How you doing?
Hey, this guy is
How many times have you
my
destroyed a Waymo?
favorite.
First time.
How do you feel about the protest?
Well, you see how I'm feeling about it.
It's kind of therapeutic over here. Are you worried about the car blowing up?
Hell no. Fuck that fool.
Oh, no. The fucking heat's burning the back.
It's called ground
fucking
news.
back.
Here, let's rewind because you can scan this for 40% off. See if that works for you. Yeah, it sucks that it's a payment thing, but like at the same time, if they are doing good work, you can stay informed and support a good cause, right? Wonder if we could share, like if one of us bought it, if we could share an account or something. Alright, let's get back to it though.
The fucking heat's burning the back, my fucking back right now. It's hot as fuck, god damn it. I'm scared it's just gonna blow up, you know. But goddamn, it's really hot. I just got tear gas 20 minutes ago, and I had to lay down on the ground and take a break. Shout out to the people out
How
here.
is this
that
guy
gave me the
fearless
hot
about
wash. I found out
everything?
the tear
What the
gas
hell?
doesn't stick to ski masks, so yeah, it's been kind of eventful. Do you feel like
He's so funny.
situation going on right now in LA could just be a possible performance being put on by Trump, or like a way to sway people's opinions?
I can't say for sure, but a lot of the things that he does seems to be performative to even sometimes just distract. I mean, what were we talking about as a nation before the raid started in Los Angeles? We were talking about this big, beautiful bill that is going to take money away from programs like Medicaid, give tax breaks to the wealthiest people. It's going to balloon our deficit and be way too expensive. And then you had Elon Musk break ties with Trump and have a public dispute between the two of them. And that's all you saw in the news. And then all of a sudden, now we're talking about raids in Los Angeles and immigration enforcement and insurrectionists and anarchy and mobilizing the National Guard and the Marines. So I'm not saying it's purely meant to distract, but oftentimes if you follow Trump's presidency, things like this happen that distract away from the thing that they don't want you talking about.
Where the fuck was all this January 6th? Huh? Don't you feel shame? Taking fucking kids from their fucking families? Don't you fucking feel shame? Abducting and kidnapping innocent fucking people? But nah, you have to support Trump's fucking Nazi-ass regime. Yeah, you look at me. Look at me specifically. Remember this fucking face. Remember my face.
His face is covered.
They're gonna really remember all tonight. Get ready, 'cause
Remember
it's gonna
this
be a
face.
long-ass fucking night. I hope you guys get paid in overtime. I hope all those billions and billions of fucking tax dollars that you guys fucking get, it's all fucking worth it for tonight. Because you guys are gonna fucking work for it. Good luck. Channel 5.
What's up, man?
I love Channel 5. I'm subscribing.
Day two
I will
got
always
a little
be
bit
watching them.
hectic when night fell, to say the least.
All right.
As far as day 2 night footage goes, we're still talking to YouTube right now and kind of examining their terms of service to figure out what's explicitly allowed and banned from the platform, and they're being pretty cool about it. And I'm assuming that we should be covered in time as journalists for the footage that we got, but we don't have like Associated Press credentials or like official journalistic certification, and kind of the way things are playing out on a federal level, I'm a little bit worried about like getting in trouble or getting subpoenaed by the feds for the nighttime footage, but I could be crazy. Either
Well,
way,
you better grab your balls and fucking do it anyway, you white man. Come on. We got to stand up. Let them subpoena
for the
you.
surface web, and you want to support us while doing it, I'm going to throw a raw cut of the day 2 night footage on Patreon right now. As you guys
least
know,
we're throwing
we're
it up.
supported almost entirely by crowdfunding. The ad reads help a little bit to keep us in business, but it's primarily www.patreon.com/channel5. I understand economic times are difficult right now, so you don't have to support us if you don't want to. It's just I wanted to put that there for people who want to be a part of it. So either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're going to try to work with our gracious partners here at YouTube to be able to drop a modified version of Night 2 in due time. But if you don't want to wait and you don't want to be a patron, well, I understand both of those things. So
okay. I think this is over. Yeah. Man, things are heating up. I think that this is almost like a little test round, a little warm-up for using the federal military and ICE and just federal agencies to come to these states that are protesting and trying to resist things. So, I don't know. I think the more peaceful we can be and peacefully get arrested or whatever else we got to do, the better our message will be to more and more people, more and more working class people who are all in a sinking ship together, right? There's a lot of white, straight people. Like, it's not just about minorities, it's about everybody who's getting fucked by this system, paying all their taxes to a Trump military parade, right? As they're passing this big, beautiful bill, right? The tax cuts for wealthier people. And you know, this is about all of us. This isn't just about immigrants. The immigrants are the easiest people to go for, right? Because they have the law on their side. These guys are here illegally. So that's super easy for them to start with that target. But they could easily keep extending it. We already know the right-wing machine has so much hateful propaganda about trans people, right? Obviously, they're going to focus on keeping that. They want that type of messaging to split us up as working class people, as families, as loved ones. Because the more divided we are, the more they can justify this type of shit. Anyway, I'm going to go do a live discussion in the studio. First one today. I'm excited about it. It's not going to be live on YouTube. I'm just going to upload it later. So, yeah, we'll see.